Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing the third generation FP Journe Chronometre à résonance. 40 millimeters in rose gold with rose gold dial. This is the third generation watch that was made from 2010 through early 2019. It is a very special watch to me. It is my favorite resonance variant. 40 millimeters in diameter. The watch is a svelte 9 millimeters thick, 48.2 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, the watch wears beautifully. It's the same as pretty much any other 40 millimeter FP Journe, and the timepiece has a nice weight to it as the dial is precious metal, the movement is precious metal, and the case is precious metal. All three triple rose gold, a very special pink on pink on pink aesthetic, and again, a truly gratifying heft that speaks to the value inherent in the watch. I would recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters in circumference. Now taking a look at the hardware and the software, you can see the watch uses an FP Journe factory strap, black on the top, black on the bottom, large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top, monotone stitch, a folded edge as you can see with round small scale gator on the bottom. The point of using small scale gator on the bottom is that it lasts longer than when calf skin is used on the bottom, and you can see the watch is equipped with a matching rose gold pin buckle. Journe building the dial, the case, and the movement, all three a fully integrated manufacturer, so you know where your money is going when you buy a Journe watch. You can see the case is all of high polish. It has a slim mid case with integrated or blended lug profiles. The lugs come to a nice taper. You can see that there are overlapping lips of the case back and the bezel that help to define the mid case. The watch features the typical Journe double dimple knurled crown, but then there's a second one as the watch has a bullhead winder and setter, and this is actually a flyback trigger down at 4 o'clock. We'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. Domed and polished bezel. The dial in a lovely matte or media blasted rose gold, features black polished bolts on the dial side. Those dial side bolts, a signature of FP Journe watch design. And you can see that the watch also includes the little polished steel bezels that frame the two time displays. So they are polished stainless steel with poly noir or specular mirrored finish, executed by hand with diamond paste. It is a resonance chronometer, which means that there is a resonance coupling of the two sides of the watch, but they are two independent movements. More about that in a moment. One crown winds both sides. You can see a single click spring and crown wheel, and then what you have are two separate barrels, trains, escapements, and balances. You wind them both using this crown, and as you can see, we have a power reserve indicator that works backwards, so the more you wind it, the closer it is to indicating 0. Like a marine chronometer, it indicates the hours since fully wound, so when fully wound, it is 0 hours since fully wound. Power reserve is 42 hours for both sides. Now, of course, this crown is also used for setting, though this is not quite a classical dual time. I'll pull that crown out there a little bit more. It is a watch that can be set to different time zones. One side is the scrolling time, and then the other side is the 12-hour display. So it is a true dual time. And this third generation watch includes a 24-hour scale. The first two generations had symmetrical dials. Both sides looked like that. For the third generation watch, FP Journe added this 24-hour format, so you have the reference time in AM and PM format. That is, you know whether it's day or night in the place where you are not. So I know, for example, right here I'm looking at approximately 5:14 in the late afternoon. So you have that distinction between day and night. Turn it all over. This is caliber 1499.3. 14 French lean is the diameter. 1999 is the year work started on the first version of the movement. And 3 means this is the third revision, and this is the third generation of the watch. First generation was a brass caliber. Second generation was a gold caliber with the symmetrical dials, and this is the third generation with the 12-24 split. Now, Auntie Janvier, a clockmaker principally, created the system of pendulum resonance by which two different regulating organs would synchronize to each other as vibrations and parasitic emanations of energy from the escapements and the balances here will do what pendulums accomplished in clocks. That is, they will synchronize to each other, but they beat in opposition. So in any given position, one is going to be inclined to run a little bit faster and one slower, and the same occurs when they're shocked or concussed, and they will resynchronize each other, so they will actually self-correct any error that occurs. You can see there's a little rose gold screw, and then there's a black polished rack and pinion apparatus that's used for adjusting the distances between the two. They are 6-position adjusted, and they are free sprung for durability, beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, each side of the watch an 18 joule movement in its own right, 30 meters water resistant. And as you can see, this unique system, which was a world premiere for FP Journe, he was the first to do this in a wristwatch. Everything is constructed of gold, so it is a unique movement, but also constructed of 18 karat gold. Now, because it takes 7 to 10 minutes for the two sides to synchronize, the seconds hands may not be perfectly in sync, so you just pull the fly back, reset them, and they should vary by less than 5 seconds per day. This is an extraordinary achievement and, in my opinion, the most beautiful version of the resonance. And this particularly fetching pink on pink on pink version is quite rare. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.